Hey guys, I got a quick update for you. I just wanted to share the build that I've been using, the thing that's got me to Act 2 cool. I don't remember when I switched over, I'd have to look at my previous videos, but the skill Wind Blast just caught my eye. Oh yeah, I remember why it caught my eye, because I was looking for Spin to Win. Whirling Assault was what I found. I was either going to use that, or at the time, last video, I was a hybrid with a bow, or I was going to use the scatter or the spinning shot one. But kind of developed into seeing how strong this move is. It just started out at a really high base, and with the knockback, I underestimated the knockback a lot. When the biggest problem with melee is getting surrounded and destroyed that way, and having an on-demand knockback really solves that problem. So the rest of the skills aren't that important. I will go over them just to kind of give you an idea. I use the Unearth sometimes when I'm playing solo, just to have more bodies. It's always nice. One of the for solo play too, I have skeletons. I'm able to have those because I got a pretty cool chest that has 52 spirit. So I got a good little spirit pool here with the 60 you get from the quests. Able to get some dudes. They don't do any damage, but they do meat shield very good. I don't even direct them at all. Just kind of a set it and forget it. I just started toying around with this guy. It spawns an ancient that does a move. I've got it set up to do Sunder. I just underestimated that you have to put Sunder physically in there. Not a super big fan of that. However, it's a strong attack. It's got a good AoE, so it kind of helps with the clear. It's not super important to the build. I'm just testing right now. That spot's kind of the flex spot. I also use Vaulting Impact a lot of the times as kind of an opener. And I use Inevitable Crit just so it almost always crits. I was using the one where when you damage somebody who's not been hit, it crits, but the minions, or I play mostly with somebody, get them first so it doesn't work. So this fills that. It's pretty good. And then I wanted to go back to this. My last build guide with the Stomp was using this because it's one of the only moves in the game that deals damage equal to your strength. All the other aftershock or shock effects, shockwaves that I've been able to find do just the same damage that the move already did, and I just think that that's cool. I haven't done much more testing into it, but I'm gonna go into that a little bit farther because the plan for this build is to be a stat stacker. It's kind of the reason why I went with Titan, is because at 4 point here, you get this, increase the effect of small passive skills, and it would just allow a stat stacking build. But for right now, it's just giving me insane amounts of raw damage. This tree is pretty scuffed. I really haven't thought it, like, sat down and figured it out yet. But I'll go over it just so you know how I'm getting the damage I am. These little nodes starting out, they're normally 8 or whatever. Now they're 12 because of that. You get some extra stun buildup, crazy damage. One of the big and most important parts of this build is this little cluster right here. Some skill speed is great, but 6% of life costs change to mana, or mana cost change to life. Now 9, 9, 9, and then another 18. So you're converting a large chunk of that to life. So here's the thing. I don't know what the monk side that's supposed to be using this skill gets in order to be able to sustain the mana that this is. I can do it okay. Like, it still chews through my mana pretty good and my life pretty good. However, I have a ridiculous amount of leech, 7.7, 6.12. I had leech here, but I got these ones that has a good physical flat damage and 2 levels of melee skills. So I went with these, but this would ideally have leech instead of the 2 enemies per hit. And that alone is enough to make sure that your life is always up, so you're really only managing this mana cost, which with this simple flask, like, this is even a good one. I need a better one. Like, last level, before I got this to rank 13 gems, because I hit 52, I had no mana like issues. Like, I could just spam it as soon as I got to Titan. And I would assume that the monk can't do that very easily. Otherwise, I'm not sure if this just seems overpowered. It's just a really good skill. It can get a pretty good. You see, like, if you're shooting this, it gets out pretty far, and you can actually spec into making it go out farther. I'm spec'd into fully damages right now. However, I usually will run around without this and the increased area of effect. Like that. So look how far that fucker goes. You just eradicate everything. So, like, just a real quick, like, example. These guys are higher, I think either higher or at my level. And if you hit it enough, like, everything just dies. And they can't surround you or anything. And if something doesn't die, do you see their stun build up? And then I was going to show you if anything would actually survive my stuff. Apparently I can't take a hit though. Yeah, I haven't been focusing at all on my defenses. And I am, just for the first time in the game, starting to actually feel that. I wanted to show you guys the other cool part of this. With the palm, look how far that's going off the screen. Oh, and I see how, like, that's a yellow. and I was nowhere near it. So I don't know if you guys are, if you're familiar with the palm. Look at that how far that goes. So that is the staggering palm. Um, you have to stun something with that in order for it to get. But you get a little notification over their head, and since the stun's so fast, it's very easy to activate this. And then when you activate that, it shoots out projectiles. The projectiles do over 100% of your weapon damage, but then they get dropped back down. Because you're running scatter shot. That's why it's shooting out 3 things. So that's cool. And then the other little thing is, like, let's see if I can get it. Oh yeah, here we go. Since I have it, when you do a whirl with all those, so that's if you're getting like surrounded, or like if you're doing a challenge where enemies like one of the trials or something where enemies are just spawning in from all around you. This can be kind of clunky trying to do it like this. I really just wanted Whirling Assault to work, but the way I have my mouse and keyboard set up, it's very clunky, the way that it travels, and it was just getting really annoying. I'm used to like a whirlwind barb from D4 where I just hold it and go, and this didn't fulfill that for me, so it's kind of just the back burner of the build right now, but I do want to focus a build around that, and when I get to the point where I'm doing it, I will give you guys a guide on it. So real quick back to my passive tree. This is the reason why I feel like I can sustain it. I'm probably just going to die while I'm doing this video, but it's fine. I do go up here. This is one of the best attack damage nodes. I was using this when I was hybrid with bow because it still affects a bow. You just get all of this attack damage, all of this physical damage. If I didn't go into it, the reason I'm able to sustain this life is because of the life leech, because I am only dealing physical damage. Another cool thing about that is, for instance, like, even if you don't love this setup and you just are struggling to beat the chaos trials for your 3rd and 4th ascendancy point, you could switch to this setup, and you basically get a free round of the like 3 or 4 rounds or 4 or 5 rounds. I don't remember how many rounds it is that you have to complete, because one of the options is to give the enemies more resistances, not armor. You don't deal any damage that affects resistances, so you get a free one. And that, like, I tried it and I failed it. Actually, I failed it because I think it was a glitch, but I may have failed it regardless. I never actually got to fight the boss without a duo. I fought it with my friend, just helping him, just seeing what it was like. But getting that free one just makes the trial like almost easy mode. I'm also levels ahead of it. I've heard online that it's, unless you really need those points to make you stronger, that just waiting until you're like 10 levels ahead is a way to do it. But anyway, that's not what I'm focused on. I'm going to focus on this build guide-ish thing here I'm doing. So those points, we've got those points. Then you come down here. This is two-hander. I was using this when I was using the bow too, because a bow does count as a two-hander. So this increases its damage a lot. These nodes again are increased. So when you hit the Titan Ascendancy, you want to start off here. You want to start off at this point, the increased stun build up, and your hits are crushing blows, because carrying a chest that adds 20 inventory slots is literally, I mean, good for you if you're already doing enough damage and you don't need this. I mean, I was, but I didn't want this, so I went with this until I went and did the trial, which I didn't even, like, I did it in the same level, so, like, it wasn't even, like, that long before I switched, but this was just nice for killing the boss in the trial, even. I was just going for this. Again, this is why I went into Titan in the first place. It's just crazy damage. So we got some more crazy damage here. And I love these notes so much that increase your attack damage and your area of effect, because technically all of my stuff is area of effect. I think even Staggering Palm is. I'd have to double check that. Go down here. I took 1 rage on melee hit. It's just free damage scaling. If you're in a sustained fight, especially like a boss fight, you're just going to get an extra 30% damage. Come down here, get some attack speed. I toyed around with the idea of going up this way. I actually did for a little bit, because you've got, I was using a spell some spells when I was doing the bow side, so this was a lot more appealing, but increased skill speed was actually the reason why I went this way, but it wasn't that dramatic, and I was spell weaving, so I thought this was the thing, and I was going to go up here. This was the big attraction, was these were 10, and now they're even more, so like, this cluster right here offers the most damage of any cluster, I believe. It's 15 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 15 times 8, and then 25, 25, 25. That's just raw attack damage. Doesn't fucking matter. This could be used if you decide you want to do this build and you don't want to focus purely physical. Maybe come this way, and then there is some idea of, this is the original reason why I was going to go this way. I just happen to have a lot of life recovery on my gear and a lower life pool than a normal Titan would, because I'm split multiple ways. My brother just signed in, and I think this is the first time he's played, so that's cool. Anyway, I will definitely mess around with this effect one. More physical damage. I mean, when you're getting 18% off of small moves, it's crazy. You're not even putting both of your armor. It's about that 25%. This is crazy damage. 18%. Then I don't love the reduced attack speed, however, I kind of almost need it now, because I am getting to a point where I'm struggling a bit with the mana. There might be some use case where if you don't want to like run minions, and you don't want to run like strength based skills, and you just want to like stack dexterity and hit that, or stack strength, blood magic might be the way to go. It was the actual, my first plan was go Titan, stack a bunch of health, get blood magic, get where's it at? Get blood magic, get brute strength, stack strength, but then I decided I wanted to mess with stat stacking. I don't know why, it just appeals to me. I like the idea of being able to stack my strength, get a bunch of life, and get a bunch of defense, and I get a bunch of defense and a bunch of attack power. However, I then stumbled upon this weapon, which I'm going to mess with once I am max level and have ridiculously high stats. Stacking strength into this. I'm just going to touch on this briefly. I'm going to do a whole build guide once I get there. But stacking strength into this, strength and dex and int, like I'm going to triple stack, I'm going to three-way this, and you're going to get area of effect, which is going to increase the range of this, while also increasing the attack speed and the damage, and I think that this is made possible by specifically this cluster down here, and 2% increased damage per 5 of your lowest attribute. You know, being able to get like 4 attributes, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4 increased attributes. There's cool things in here that like 5% dexterity instead of just a flat. And so, like, I don't even know if I brought this up yet, but just, you know, right now I'm way higher in strength because that was how I was going, like scaling before. And then my plan was to do strength and use what I was doing before was using strength and these are like amazing to me. I love this idea. However, and please, if you're seeing this, report this as a bug. These are supposed to make strength satisfy your attribute requirements of melee weapons and melee skills. However, I didn't check all the skills. I only checked the ones that I cared about, but it does not work for Staggering Palm. Even though it literally has the melee tag, I guess because it also has the projectile, it's just canceling it, so you cannot satisfy this. And then also, it's taking into account the extra support gems. So like this, it needs an extra like 15, I think, and then so, and then that, or wait, not sure what those mean, but anyway, I think it's because of the gems, but either way, with that on, I still had to have a really high base of dex in order to get my skills to work. So this item is very bugged. Do some testing yourself, or just at the bare bones, do me a favor and report that these are not working with all the skills with a melee tag, and submit just that simple thing for me. That would be so great, because it's not going to get fixed otherwise. If it does get fixed, I am going to do a full strength stacking build guide for multiple skills and setups, and I'd be very excited to explore that. That was my original idea, and now I don't get to explore that, so I switched from that to the idea of triple stacking all of them. And I think doing it with Titan is just a cool idea, because I will end up getting the access to just, you know, like all these cool nodes that you can just go raw damage, but one of the cool things that I see are, I'd have to like actually go through. I have a thing where I've passed through to see all the good ones, but there are just a lot of nodes that are small nodes, which I'm literally not pathing over any right now, so I feel stupid. But there are a lot of the small nodes that just boost skill, you know, like they just have like strength or what have you on them, and those ones are going to be super powerful. I never see this one. Those are going to be super powerful for this setup in the long run. just gonna try and find. I really do want to get over here to this. I think this is a very strong life leech. Leech is faster, and then also leech effects aren't removed when you fill your health, because normally the leech effect just stops, even if you have leftover. That was somewhere I wanted to path, but when I was trying to path that way, I just could not get away from the fact that this, and this is just so much raw damage that, I mean, I don't know what people are doing around this level, but just my basic attack does 10,000 DPS. I think that's high. I don't know that for sure. My Wind Blast is doing that too. Oh, I guess I didn't showcase the Tempest Spell. This is really good for bossing, and it's also really good if you have a teammate. You can smack the boss with Wind Blast. It'll get them their stagger bar up really fast, and let your teammate know that to stop attacking right before the stun, because if you stun the boss with Staggering Palm, then you get the extra projectiles, which kind of like doubles your single target damage for a second. But then also you punch them 4 times with this whenever they get close to stagger, so that you can stagger them, or stun them or whatever, and then drop the bell and then just hammer it and have your teammate hammer it, and you will just delete bosses, like just delete them. Also, this picks up elemental damage, so that's actually just one of the base reasons I have Infernal Cry still in the build, is that you can drop this, pop that, and hit it 1 time with that Infernal Cry, and it adds the fire damage. So the bell catches on fire, and I believe I think that interaction was working. I actually just remembered that I couldn't test that interaction because my friend, when I came up with it, my friend had boots that were catching everything on fire. So I'm actually kind of curious see, when I try to get into melee, this ain't great. But let's see there, if I drop that, and then, okay, so never mind. I lied. That was just my friend's boots catching it on fire. But there are multiple ways to add elemental damage to any of your attacks you can put. The one that comes to mind is, since we have the strength and stuff, you can do the thing I was rocking before, the molten attack if you want, or if you don't have to go fire. I just think Fire Monk sounds cool because it's not normal. But either way, this is good for bossing. A lot of times I'll hit the Infernal Cry and Vault Impact, just a really big hit going into a fight with a lot of people. Oh yeah, big thing for this setup is your weapon. Mine is, I believe, really fucking good. The things to look out for here is the physical damage increase and flat physical damage. I happen to get attack speed too, which is great, but it also does contribute to mana issues. And ideally, I mean, block pants is cool. I was really excited about it initially. I was thinking about stacking block on this build just to see, and I might do a build guide in the in-game with that, kind of see how far I can push blocking with the staff, because there are tons of increased block nodes, and then there are 2 nodes that give you damage per your block percentage, so I think that would be a cool path to try to go down, as a monk, ish person. But anyway, your ideal stats here are the increased physical damage, increased attack speed, melee skills, and flat physical, and then throw in the increased physical. If you just have all of the materials and everything, you would ideally want to corrupt this and get another socket and throw another 20% physical damage in this. Also boost quality if you want, but besides this, the main factors are you're going to need staff with physical, you're going to need ring with physical, I guess the prefix, or not prefix, implicit doesn't matter as much. It's only 1 to 4, but in the early game it does matter. And then physical here. So physical, and if you have that set up with this, you're gonna just crush because of that and all the nodes from Titan just making your physical damage go crazy. So this was a very long build guide video. I mean build guide with air quotes. I just kind of wanted to share with you what's got me this far in the campaign, and doesn't seem to be slowing down, although I just almost got one tapped out there, so I am going to showcase that I have no resistances and hardly any armor. So I'm going to start trying to get my resistances capped, or start getting towards the caps now that I've got the damage done. The damage is there. So I am going to start looking at that. And then one of the things I am eyeballing is iron reflexes. I was actually thinking about getting... I was going to path over here immediately, so I was like, oh, I won't get the item that gives you iron reflexes, but now that I'm not pathing over there because I just can't get rid of this. This is 200% damage, and being over here instead of just shooting down to be a path effectively, you need this, I think. I guess the other option that I thought about was foregoing all that and just eating it and putting the skill gem, or the support gem in the Wind Blast that converts it completely to life instead of mana. If the leech setup would work. These are my thoughts. I don't have a planner because you can just kind of look where I've pathed. I don't want to make a formal build guide for this because I don't know if it's going to be in-game viable, and I do want to focus on in-game viable builds. But for leveling, this is a cool setup. It solves a lot of the problems that melee characters have with the knockbacks. That's my alarm saying I got to go to my son's Christmas party. So I'm going to, perfect timing, leave you with that and hop off here. But I will be on soon with more guides and more info. So I look forward to seeing you guys again. All right. Have a good one.